Next, we can discuss about Newton's third law of motion. So what is the statement? The third law of motion states that when one object exerts a force on other object, then the second object instantly exerts a force back on the first object. Consider two objects A and B. Now, suppose A exerts a force on B and let that force be FAB, and B exerts a force, then B exerts a force on A. If A exerts a force on B, then B also exerts a force back to or on A, FBA. It will be that force, and these two forces will be equal in magnitude. If A exerts a force of 10 Newton on B, then B also exerts the same force 10 Newton on A. So these two forces will be equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. FAB is acting in this direction and FBA acts in opposite direction. Okay, so that is written here. These two forces are always equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. And these forces act on different objects, never on the same object. Yeah, it's right. See, A exerts force on B, but B exerts force on A. Okay, so FAB and FBA are exerted on different objects, not on the same object. And these two forces are also known as action and reaction forces. Okay, so the force exerted by A on B can be denoted as action force, and the force exerted by B on A as a reaction of the force exerted by A, it can be considered as a reaction force. Action reaction forces are never exerted on the same object. Action and reaction forces always act on the different objects. Okay, so this is the Newton's third law. It's very interesting law. Once again, we can come back to the statement. Third law of motion states that when one object exerts a force on another object, the second object instantaneously exerts a force back on the first object. And the most important concept is that these two forces act on different objects, never on the same object. And next we can discuss some of the important applications of third law. See, the propulsion of fish through water is an example of action-reaction pair. A fish makes use of its fins to push water backwards. Okay, so while moving through water, the fish pushes the water backwards using its fins. So what happens? As a reaction, that means the fish has exerted a force on water. So as a reaction, the water will exert a force on the fish. So here fish pushes the water backwards and the water pushes the fish forwards. Okay, so that is written here. This push serves to accelerate the fish forwards. The size of the force on the water equals the size of the force on the fish. That means the direction of force on the water is opposite to the direction of force on the fish. Okay. Now, the flight of the bird is an example of action-reaction pair. The wings of the bird push the air downwards. The air pushes the bird. Sorry, it is not the air. The air pushes the bird upwards. Okay, it's not air, it is bird. Just correct it. The air pushes the bird upwards. Okay, so the flight of the bird is also an example of action-reaction pair. The wings of the bird push the air downwards and the air pushes the bird upwards. Okay. Next, a swimmer pushes against the water. So the swimmer pushes the water backwards while the water pushes the swimmer forwards. And lift is created by the helicopters by pushing the air down, thereby creating an upward reaction force. Okay, the helicopter pushes the air downwards, air pushes the helicopter upwards. The rock climbers pulling their vertical rope downwards to push themselves upwards. Then, this figure also gives so many applications based on third law. See, Here, when a bullet is fired from the gun, action-reaction forces are produced. Here, whenever the bullet is fired from the gun, the bullet goes forward. At the same time, the bullet exerts a reaction force on the gun, because the gun exerts a force on the bullet due to which it moves forward. So the bullet in turn exerts a reaction force on the gun due to which the gun moves a little bit backward. And that is the recoiling of the gun. Okay, so this is the recoiling of the gun is the reaction, and the movement of the bullet can be considered as the action. Again, when we walk, what happens? We pushes the floor backwards. Our foot pushes down the floor backwards. So in turn, the floor exerts a force on us in the forward direction, due to which we move forward. So this is the action and this is the reaction force. Now, see, whenever the boy or the sailor jumps in the forward direction, the boy's feet exert a force on the boat. That is the action. Okay, whenever he jumps from the boat, he exerts a force on the boat. And the boat exerts a force on the feet. Okay, so as the sailor or as the boy jumps in the forward direction, the boat moves backwards. So what is the action? The boy's feet exert a force on the boat. That is the action. Reaction, the boat exerts a force on the feet. Okay. So all these are different applications of Newton's third law. Next, we can discuss the law of conservation of momentum. We had already studied what is momentum. So, what is law of conservation of momentum? In the absence of external unbalanced force, the sum of momenta of two objects before collision is equal to sum of momenta of objects after collision. So, let me explain the same thing through an example. Then we can come back to this statement. See here, consider two objects A and B. Let the initial velocity of A be UA, and let the initial velocity of object B be UB, U suffix B. Now, these two objects collide. See, this is the collision. So, A and B collide. So, during collision, A exerts a force on B towards right, and in turn, B exerts a reaction force on A towards left. So, FAB is the force exerted by A on B, and FBA is the reaction force exerted by B on A during collision. So, this is the case before collision, and collision has taken place. After collision, what happens? The velocity of A and B will change. So, let V suffix A be the velocity of object A after collision, and let V suffix B be the final velocity of object B after collision. So, this is the case before collision and this is the case after collision. UA, UB are the initial velocities before collision. VA and VB are the final velocities after collision. So, what happens? Conservation of momentum states that the total momentum before collision is equal to total momentum after collision. So, what is the total momentum before collision? Total momentum before collision is momentum of A plus momentum of B. Okay, so here this is the initial momentum. Initial momentum of A plus initial momentum of B. What will be the momentum of A? Mass of A is m suffix A. Mass velocity of A is u suffix A. So the momentum of A will be ma into ua plus the momentum of B will be mb into ub. So that is given here. So what is the total momentum before collision? ma ua plus mb ub, mass into velocity. Now what is the total momentum after collision? Velocity of A after collision is va, and mass of the object is not going to change due to collision. So mass of A remains the same, it is ma itself. So momentum of A will be ma into va momentum of B will be mb into vb. So the total momentum will be MAVA plus MBVB. So this is the sum of momenta or total momenta after collision, MAVA plus MBVB. Here it is VA children, it is not VB. Okay, so it will be MAVA plus MBVB. Now, what is conservation of momentum? As per conservation of momentum, total momentum before collision is equal to total momentum after collision. That means MAUA plus MBUB is equal to MAVA plus MBVB. So this is total momentum before collision and this is total momentum after collision. That means the total momentum of the objects remains the same in collision process. Okay, even though the individual momentum will change. Okay, MAVA is not equal to MAUA. If you consider the individual momentum, it will change because individually the object changes its velocity. Velocity of initial velocity of A and the final velocity of A is not the same. So their individual momentum will change. But the total momentum before collision and after collision will be same. Okay, suppose the initial momentum of A was 10 and final momentum of the initial momentum of B was 20. So the total momentum here was 30. Now after collision, suppose the final momentum of A is 20 and final momentum of B is 10. Again, what is the total momentum? It will be 30, but individual momentum is changed. Here the momentum of A changed from 10 to 20, momentum of B changed from 20 to 10. Okay, so this is the law of conservation of momentum. The absence of external forces. So this happens only if there is no external force. If external unbalanced force acts on the system, things may change. Okay, so in the absence of any external unbalanced force, the sum of momenta or the total momenta of two objects after collision is equal to, before collision is equal to the sum of momenta of those objects after collision. Okay, so the total momentum of a system remains the same. That is law of conservation of momentum. So children, with this I am concluding this session. We can discuss the numericals of this chapter in the next session. Notes of the topic and YouTube video have been uploaded. Please go through it and also attend the test and post me the answers quickly. We will meet in the next session. Till then, take care all of you. Stay home, stay safe, keep learning. Thank you.